Good morning. We'll call the Tippecanoe County Commissioners meeting to order. If you'll please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Masson for the election of officers for 2025.
I guess it's up to you guys if you want to nominate a slate or if you want to just nominate president, but I'd open the floor at this time for nominations.
I'll make a motion that Commissioner Byers serve as president and Commissioner Brown serve as vice president for 2025.
Second.
All right. Do you have any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll close the floor. All those in favor of that slate signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, turn the gavel over.
Woohoo. All right, thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. Next on the agenda is approval of 2 sets of minutes.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes from the Township Assistance meeting on 12/2 and our regular meeting, or our claims meeting on 12/30.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve both sets of these minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That passes. Presentation of payroll.
Mr. President, I'd like to recommend the payroll dated January 3rd, 2025 be approved without exception.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the payroll. All in favor say aye. Opposed? That passes. Resolution. First one up is 2025-01-CM. That is our meeting dates. We will meet with the first and third Monday of the month, except for January 21st, February 18th, and September 2nd. Those will be on Tuesday because holidays falling on Monday. So saying that, we'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to approve resolution number 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Next, resolution number 2025-02 is appointments. They are William Robinette, Building Commissioner, Kent Croft, Chief Information Officer, Paula Bennett, Commissioner's Executive Assistant, Keena Everett, Community Corrections Executive Director, Jeff Houston, Emergency Management Executive Director, Andrew Klein, Fairgrounds Property Manager, Stuart Klein, Highway Executive Director, Acadia Sadie McKinley, Human Resources Coordinator, Anthony Dildine, Maintenance Executive Director, Deanna Sieber, Tippecanoe County Villa Director, James Harris, Veteran Services Officer, James Wolf, Weights and Measures Director, and Rebecca Humphrey for Youth Service Director. I'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second to approve these appointments. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Next, we have Resolution 2025-03CM. This is an appointments. It says, Tracy Brown, appointed to Area Plan Commission, Community Corrections Advisory Board, Drainage Board, Local Emergency Planning Committee, Management Information Technology Services Advisory Board, Solid Waste Advisory Commission, Tippecanoe County Emergency Management Agency, Tippecanoe County Solid Waste Management District. Tom Murtaugh, Area Plan Commission, Cary Home Advisory Board, Drainage Board, Joint Purchasing Committee, Redevelopment Commission, Tippecanoe County Solid Waste Management District, Valley Oaks Health Mental Health, Wabash River Enhancement Corp. And David Byers, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, Court Services Advisory Board, Drainage Board, Human Resources Committee, Lafayette Housing Consortium, Local Environmental Response Financing Board, Tippecanoe County Solid Waste Management District. Also, we have appointments, Accessibility Coalition of Tippecanoe County, Tim Clark, Alcohol and Tobacco Commission, Holly Hughes, Animal Disease Control Emergency Coordinator, Dr. Chris Whitty, DVM, Area Board of Zoning Appeals, Steve Clevenger, Board of Operating Company for Battleground Golf, Rick Oliver, Child Protection Team, Rebecca Humphrey, Economic Development Commission, West Lafayette, Steve Schreckengass, Human Relations Commission, Bob Goldsmith, Billy Brand, Meredith Richmond, Lafayette, West Lafayette Convention and Visitors Bureau, Becky Barnes, Teresa Sheets-Witkowski. Audubon Public Library, Cindy Honiger. Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals, Nate Gustus, Cheryl Butcher, Brad Nieheiser. Tippecanoe Board of Health, Johara Miller, Sarah Teeby, and Carol Ott. Tiffany County Emergency Management Agency, Don Machowski, Gary Smith, and Brockton Suter. Tiffany County Government Building Corporation, William Smokey Anderson, Jerry Withard. Tiffany County Park Board, Dennis Mellon. Tiffany County Partnership of Water Quality, Zach Beasley with Dell Snipes as alternate. Tiffany County Redevelopment Commission, Paige Britton, Chris Lowe, Chris Kessler. Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission, Karen Darbyshire. West Lafayette Public Library, Shelley Lowenberger de Boer. Those appointments for that resolution.
Mr. President, I move for approval as outlined.
And I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve these appointments. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That passes. Next up, we have area plan. Ryan?
Okay, what's first? Townships? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So the resolution 2025-04 CM, as you recall, last year we had wrapped up work on the Wabash Tippecanoe townships, sort of addressing West Lafayette and Battlegrounds kind of growth areas. And so now we are turning our attention to Lafayette and Dayton's growth areas. So their development trends, patterns have been moving to the south and southeast. That's demonstrated. And it's time for an update to the land use plan for these areas. So I did include an exhibit map. I don't know if you've seen it. You have
Yes,
seen it?
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. But it is just for the unincorporated areas of the county, so the city of Lafayette and the town of Dayton will not be party to this. We'll likely make an overture to invite them to be sort of flies on the wall during the process. But we're envisioning a process identical to what we did with Wabash and Tippecanoe, just for this area. So we'll be looking for stakeholder recommendations and try to assemble a steering committee to kind of guide the process.
And Ryan, will that steering committee will it be one committee or two? Meaning, will both townships be done with one committee, or will they each have their own?
We're sort of open to suggestions on that.
Okay.
I think part of it is, depending on interest, who we can actually get. If we can manage a single committee, that would be ideal.
That's where I would recommend too.
Yeah, so that's what I'm shooting for.
Okay.
So that way we can just have one set of meetings and just sort of do a combined effort.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to addressing both land use and transportation needs and setting some nice ground rule policies for the future for this important area of the community. So happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Now we'll entertain that motion.
Mr. President, I would move that we adopt Resolution 2025-04-CM.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this resolution. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Next, we have an ordinance.
Mr. President, I would move that we hear ordinance 2025-02-CM, a rezoned Z 2958 ERA Lafayette R1 to R2.
And I'll second that.
Okay, Ryan?
All right, thank you. So the petition before you is essentially another one of these kind of mystery duplexes. So county ordinance came into effect for zoning in 65. This duplex was built in 67. From what we can tell, it was zoned R1 at the time. And so we're not exactly sure how this one got through, but it did, and it's been around ever since. And given the adjacencies of duplexes that are now zoned R2, it's sort of time for this property to join the team and become a conforming property. So we are recommending approval of this fix. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board?
No, sir.
Any questions from the audience?
Petitioner.
Petitioner?
Well, good morning. My
morning.
name is Marianne Owen. I'm from the law firm of Stewart and Brannigan. And I'm here on behalf of the petitioners with the help of one of my associates, Kat Bingaman. The Area Plan Commission the staff puts it very well. We're fixing a little oops in the development process. This happened in the 60s when we were working on our new ordinance, and we now want to fix it to make this a conforming use. And so we ask you to approve the rezoning of this property from R1 to R2. And this is not changing anything as far as this property is concerned. It will continue to be a duplex, similar to the other duplexes in the area. So, please, if you have any questions, I'm here to try to answer them.
Tom will say he wasn't born by then, so. Any questions
I
from the
wasn't.
board?
No, sir.
Any questions from the audience? Jennifer?
Brown,
Yes.
Murtaugh,
Yes.
Byers.
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-2CM passes 3-0.
Thank you.
very much.
Okay, next up.
Mr. President, before we move on, I just would want to make a note that the Amendment 114 for the ADUs for West Lafayette, just make a note that's going to be heard at a different meeting, subject to how West Lafayette decides to proceed with that ordinance, since it only pertains to West Lafayette.
Okay. All right, highway. Doug? Looks like we have 4 service call agreements.
Yes, we're just presenting our on-call service agreements. We have 4 of them with BF&S, Christopher Burke, T-Bird, and VS Engineering. And they have their hourly rates on.
Depending on the type of work
Yes.
that is being requested. Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we approve the on-call service agreements for Butler, Fairman, Seifert, Christopher B. Burke Engineering, T-Bird Design Services, and VS Engineering.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve all 4 of these service agreements. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Okay, next up, we have an agreement for legal services.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement for legal services with Hoffman, Lumen, and Masson as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this legal services agreement, and let it be known that the charge is the exact same as it was last year. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. All right, now we have another agreement with Peony Engineering. Doug?
Yeah, so my understanding is that you're in the process of updating I think it's the HVAC control board at the jail, and it started failing faster than anticipated. So the process was in place to get quotes, and that had been done. Typically, you'd want to move forward with a request for proposals, but the urgency of this is such that I think a special purchasing method is appropriate. And so I think you have in your packet Resolution 2025. I don't know if that got a resolution number.
Number 5.
Yeah, it's number 5.
Okay. And that, just outlines what happened, that emergency conditions exist. I believe there's some compatibility advantages to going with Peony Engineering because they'd done work on it before. Their quotes were competitive with the others that you obtained. So, provided my understanding of all that's correct, I would recommend approval of that resolution, and then it also authorizes signature of a temperature control replacement agreement, which incorporates that quote for services.
Mr. President, I move for adoption of Resolution 2025-05-CM, authorizing a special purchasing method in this case, and then also that we sign off on the, I guess it's a quote or an agreement in the amount of $397,760.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this resolution and the agreement. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? That passes. Next up, Amy.
So I'm asking to split a full-time positions. Shay Hughes went from full-time to part-time. I have people interested in part-time positions, not full-time positions. So I'm trying to just fill my staff.
Is this, how many is this that we've done? 3?
This would be the third, I believe.
Third? Okay.
I apologize, I didn't count them, but I'm guessing
Okay.
it's the third.
Okay. Mr. President, I'll make the motion that, do we need to eliminate the full-time position? I can't remember how we've done this in the past.
Yeah, it would eliminate it and then create 2 part-times.
Okay. Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we eliminate the full-time public defender position and create the 2 regular part-time positions.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this position swap. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have a professional service agreement.
I can speak to this on Judge Grant's behalf if you have any questions. This is our continuing contract with Dr. Askoff for psychological evaluations for kids who need a faster turnaround than we can get them through our Department of Child Services funding.
Mr. President, I'd move for approval of the 9th addendum to the Tippecanoe County Courts Professional Service Agreement with Dr. James Askoff, the contractor.
Second.
Motion is second to approve this contract. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Now we have 5 more contracts.
You do, I would like to remove the one for Joey Kidwell. It's not been pre-signed by the vendor, so that one would need to come out and wait for a future date. And
Okay.
the other ones are, the one for Alexander Burns and Kristen Ferguson are grant-funded. One is for our teen court judging, which is our restorative court for kids who come in for diversions. Instead of going through the formal court process, they're heard by a jury of their peers. It's been very successful. And then the other is for Kristen Ferguson for our handgun intervention program, our community accountability board, again, to help decrease the amount of weapon offenses by kids in the community. The other 2 are through the general fund, one for Buck Black for substance abuse assessments, and the other for Lindsay Wright for quality assurance. And those are fee for services based upon the tasks that they perform.
And we can do these all in one motion, I'm assuming. Mr. President, I would move that we approve the agreement with Alexander Burns for teen court judge in the amount of $1,890, with Kristen Ferguson for the handgun intervention program at $60 per hour, for Buck Black for substance abuse assessments at $350 each, not to exceed $7,000 in a year, and for Lindsay Wright for quality assurance at $2,000 per month.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion and a second to approve these 4 contracts. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? That passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a permission to apply for a grant.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'd like to ask on behalf of the Health Department for the Sexual Transmitted Infection Prevention Funding for the 2025 to assist with the personnel working in collaboration with the Nursing Division for reporting to IDOH, supplies for off-site clinics, and providing necessary equipment, educational material for the community.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion. We grant permission to apply as stated.
Second.
Motion is second to grant permission to apply. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That passes.
Thank you.
Okay, any unfinished or new business needs to be brought forth? Seeing none? We have reports on file from the Building Commission and the Tipmont/Wintech. Those will be in the Commissioner's office for public viewing, if you want to look at them. Any public comment?
Motion to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.